Tim Heffron, Senior Vice President, Human Resources and Chief Information Officer of Meritor. As most of you would know, Meritor is a Fortune 500 company and a leading global supplier of drivetrain, mobility, braking, and aftermarket solutions for commercial vehicles and industrial markets. Tim is an industry thought leader, a transformational agent, and most importantly, a firm advocate of digital transformation. As CIO at Meritor, he's responsible to drive the innovation and transformational projects. He is also a member of many leading forums and advisory boards, such as Oracle CIO Advisory Board, Hackett Group of Advisory Council, to name a few.
Kind of reflecting on this question and how to best describe our journey, I really kind of centered on some points, some specific points that I thought were really helpful to us, either in terms of enablers or just us learning a lot that ultimately contributed in a positive way to our cloud journey. So I'll go back all the way to about 2007, when the organization, at that time, there were a number of company-owned data centers scattered about, and those were consolidated at the time with EDS just prior to the HP acquisition. And so when you go through an exercise like that, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about what kind of documentation you have, what kind of documentation you don't have. Often it's an impetus to retire some outdated technology and things of that nature. Once that was finished, we started over time, and this was several years, but we really focused on leveraging virtualization technology to really try to shrink that physical data center footprint. And then, we started to use some point SaaS solutions, real simple stuff. A lot of people on this call, I'm sure, are familiar with Concur, T&E. Within our aftermarket business, we used a PROS pricing optimization application. And then we started to get a little bit braver, started to dip into some more enterprise caliber SaaS solutions like Office 365, Salesforce. We also, in the 2014 timeframe, we moved our data center again. We moved from out of HP and into AT&T at the time. And it was AT&T for about a year into that transition, and then that business was purchased by IBM. In 2015, we went through a pretty significant project for us, about a 3-year duration, where we took a number of disparate ERP instances. Majority of them were Oracle instances, although some were quite dated, as well as some non-Oracle technology. And we really consolidated and upgraded those to two global instances, one that lined up with our manufacturing side of our business and one the aftermarket side of our business. We then did a project with our PLM application, our Global Product Lifecycle application. We use Windchill here at Meritor. And what we did in connection with a pretty major application upgrade, we also moved it out of the traditional data center and into the AWS cloud. So that was a pretty significant move for us. Along the way, we also took a hard look at our network architecture. If you go back in time, what we had was a pretty traditional MPLS network. And before we started to see a lot more internet-based traffic, if somebody at a site, a lot of our different sites wanted to connect to the internet, they would actually first have to traverse through the wide area network, the more expensive circuits, and get out to some type of a regional hub in order to hop out to the internet. So what we did is we implemented what we referred to as a hybrid network. We still have the MPLS in place that primarily serves the you know, the on-premise apps, if you will. But most of our sites have direct internet connections, so that if you're going to the internet, you can go straight out. You don't have multiple hops, and you don't have to ride over the MPLS to facilitate that. And really, after all of what I've just described, we felt we were ready to take the next big step. And so in 2019, we embarked on a project to really move out of the traditional data center, which was with IBM, and into the Oracle's OCI cloud infrastructure environment. So that was a major project throughout 2019 for us. We finalized the move in November of 2019. We do maintain a very small colo environment, principally to house just a handful of legacy applications that we didn't have time to deal with, as well as some things associated with compliance, principally some ITAR related activity, and that's in an Equinix. We went through a very extensive, Ravi can attest to this, RFP process. I mean, we included a number of different firms, large and small, and ultimately got very comfortable that SuneraTech had the right combination of the different attributes that I referred to previously, that we felt were important to our success. I mean, clearly, again, one of the things I touched on was the ecosystem. I mean, you know, Sunera has a very close partnership with Oracle, but again, that flexibility, to me, the different dimensions of flexibility, if I were to kind of call out one, was kind of the differentiator in my mind, straddling art and science, really the collaborative nature, and then the contract flexibility. All of those things kind of bundled up together, as well as all of the other capabilities and experience. But that flexibility kind of bundle, if you will, is really what I would say was the differentiator from our perspective.